Welcome back to Braziere. My name's Lawrence.
And I'm Natalie.
And today we are back for another collaboration.
Yeah.
And we have a very special guest this time. But first, what is the subject?
It is our biggest RV mistakes.
Yes, now we haven't really done a video like this before.
We don't make any mistakes.
Because we're perfect, so it's going to be a really short video. But let's run the intro and then we will introduce our special guest.
It really makes me wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder.
Okay, first, let's introduce our special guests. It's Izzy and MJ from Endless RVing.
Yes.
We've watched you guys for a long time, so thank you very much for joining us. If there are other special guests or other channels that you think would like to join this collaboration, we do it once a month. Please note them below, tag them in the video below, see if they will join. So that would be very useful. We will also be taking suggestions for other topics as well.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to throw those in the comments. I have some news before we start this.
Oh.
We sold our rig.
We did! It is no longer for sale.
Which,
hence we're here by the pool.
yeah, I use this phrase a lot. It's bittersweet, but it's good because now we have some of the funds to invest in a new RV.
Yep.
So we're starting to get a little bit more serious about that and kind of narrowing down our search.
Yep.
But also, I just want to congratulate Ryan who bought it. He lives very close to us.
Yeah.
He's going to be static for a while, but him and his wife and their 3 kids will be staying in it. So congratulations, Ryan, if you're watching. All right, so we don't like to say that we do RV mistakes.
We call them happy little accidents.
We do. So if you're a Bob Ross fan, we are too, and they're happy little accidents. So let's get straight in. So the first, can I go first?
Yeah, of course, darling.
Okay. The first happy little accident, no, this was a mistake, is we bought the truck first.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, you regretted that.
So if
Twice,
I think
you've regretted that.
I have. So I originally bought an F-150. Then we got a rig. That was a disaster. We still haven't done a video on that, but it was an absolute lemon.
Our little 4 Winds.
Yeah, our little 4 Winds. It was an old one.
Yeah.
And then I bought the F-250 thinking that'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then that kind of restricts us mainly for the 5th wheels.
Yeah.
The bigger 5th wheels. So we struggle. If we want to keep the truck, then we have to be very careful on that. So if anyone is new here and you don't have an RV yet, or you're looking at something towable, this is more towable focused, but don't figure out what rig you want first and then buy the truck to match it. Otherwise you'll run into the problems that we have. But I do love my truck, really love it. I should have just bought the F450 day one. Okay, Natalie.
All right, our second big mistake was, well, it wasn't an awful, happy accident. Lawrence thought he could professionally winterize the RV after watching a YouTube video and did not professionally winterize the RV, causing it to freeze, a crack, and the outside shower to pee everywhere of water on our second trip.
You're just lying. It's all a lie. It wasn't.
Watch the video. He says it in the video. I watched 3 YouTube videos.
It was 4 YouTube videos. 6 makes you a professional, so 4 makes me an amateur professional.
Okay.
Semi-professional. So anyway, no, what happened was, here's what happened, is we were in Virginia, we were coming down to Florida, and right before we were about to leave, there was like 2 days below freezing overnight.
Oh, and you didn't want to.
So I was like, wow, I don't want to winterize it because it's not worth it. Anyway, I did, but I just half-assed it, to be honest. And so there's a couple of things that I forgot to do there. So I blew out the line so there's no water in it. I didn't put any antifreeze in the lines or anything like that. Just blew out the lines. The problem is I forgot 2 things. One is the shower.
Oh yeah, it split, I remember.
The shower head split because the water was still in the shower head. But the worst one was the pipes. I didn't blow out the outdoor shower either, and so those connectors split.
Those all bust, yeah.
Which we only found out when we got down past North Carolina
past Chief and D's. It was after
Yeah.
Chief and D's that we found
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So then we stopped. I turned all the water on, and the connector was broken in the basement area. And so anyway, so we had to have an emergency Camping World trip to go and
Who did help?
find all the stuff. They did. They were actually very helpful.
They were.
I've only heard bad things about Camping World. Okay, so that was that. Okay, so my next one. Again, this is towing related, so sorry anyone who's in a Class A or motorised. I struggled when I first got the rig. We got the weight distribution hitch, got it all set up perfect. I was trying to, and this happened for weeks, trying to even out the weight on the rig. So because I knew there was so much in the front, I was putting a lot of heavy stuff in the back to try and even it out. Well, that's a bad idea, because at one point we could only do like 56 miles an hour because of the sway.
Yeah.
And so we changed, we spoke to a few people, did a bit of research, and actually it's better to have all the weight on the front so that it obviously pulls it better.
Yeah.
Some examples of this all online. So anyway, don't try and even out the weight of the rig, just throw it all in the front. Then I was worried about the payload on our truck. Goes back to the other thing we said. So anyway, yeah, all the weight is now in the front. I try and keep all the weight in the front, as little as possible at the back, and it tows amazingly well.
So it kind of leads me on to our next mistake, which so they're kind of our top 3 major-ish ones that we did, but I'm gonna tack on to the end of that we made a mistake with our fridge, which I don't think is a problem nowadays, because you said most people have got 12 volt.
Yeah.
But when we first got our rig, we tried to turn the fridge on when the fridge was at an angle, and it wasn't cooling, and we couldn't work it out. We're getting really frustrated. It was our very first trip. Anyway, we kept trying it. I don't know what happened, but we ended up breaking the cooling unit on the back.
I can't even remember what it was, but we were packing up the rig and we turned the fridge on the night before.
Yeah.
And it was on not a real steep slope,
No.
but more than you would ever find at an RV park. So it was on a slope.
It was, yeah.
And that messes up the cooling of the older fridges. So.
Yeah, so that was kind of a mistake, and the reason I'm saying this is because then we had to buy that fridge freezer, and again we were trying to get that weight distribution right, so we were putting the fridge freezer at the back, and then that was causing sway.
We literally went to Best Buy and we just moved this freezer all around the rig.
Yeah, if you're ever bored, go back and watch Series 1. We broke our fridge literally 2 days into our 6-month trip, and it was, I feel sorry for people that are full-time trying to get that fridge repaired. It was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, so the issue is that in our old rig, you can't take the fridge out. The only way to get it out is to take it through the window or remove the slide.
And the cooling units were on back order until like February, and that was of no use to us. So that was just a little add-on bonus mistake. I think we have a couple.
Can I do a bonus one? I've got a little note here. I know the video's going on a bit long, but this is something that we learnt pretty early on as well. And that is, always keep an eye on your gas level and know where you're going to fill up. Because we did not do this, and we got down to about, 13 miles, and the only gas station on our route was just a regular gas station.
Yeah.
And so I had to fill up, and it was so embarrassing, but I really had no choice. And I also started carrying a can of diesel now.
Just in case.
Just because of this.
It was embarrassing.
The rig was back on the road. We were at the pump. The whole rig was blocking the entrance. Back of the rig was hanging over the road. But we really had no choice. Yes, we were those people. Yes, we're embarrassed. Yes, I don't like admitting it, but we screwed up. So now we always fill up regularly. When we get to like quarter of a tank, I know a lot of people do this with half a tank, but we're safe with quarter of a tank.
Yeah, always fill up.
There's that.
So another rookie mistake, I guess, which we haven't made since, was there was one time in Key West that we completely unhitched before taking the slides out. Oopsie! And you've guessed it, that rear office one went straight into a tree. We didn't get that far, luckily, but lesson learnt that day.
We had to hitch up
again, move
close
it again.
everything. I think we even had our fence out and everything. It was like
bad.
Took us like an hour and a half just to get ready. And then I have one last one, which is the black tank issues that we had.
Yeah.
And so I am a professional black tank person now.
You did a little like plastic cape like a trash bag.
Yeah, exactly. So basically our black tank kept clogging. I think it was a lot of that was some of the previous owners and then some of their stuff, and then we didn't use it for a while, and so I think There was a bunch of maybe a poop pyramid that had just solidified, and then
Such a
over the
horrible
next,
word.
I know, over the next few weeks it just. Anyway, I know perfectly how to unclog it now.
Yeah.
But for a long time we were having these issues, and one of the solutions is just to use loads of water. If you're on full hookups, just use tons and tons and tons of water.
Yeah,
and
we
you
never
don't
had the
have this
problem
issue.
since. Ever since
No.
we started adding, just like I said, tons of water.
But even when
It's
we've been doing boondocking, we did a whole week's boondocking
Yeah.
on one tank, and we still never had that issue.
No.
So I think there was something from before, but something anyway. So that was it. Okay, this is way longer than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was only meant to be
Sorry.
3 things. We gave you a whole bunch, so I hope you appreciate it. At least give us a like for doing that. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to Izzy and MJ from Endless RVing for joining us this month.
Yep.
That's really cool. Very interested to see on your mistakes. But don't forget, now that you've watched this entire video, you can go ahead and watch the other videos for everyone below. They all are doing exactly the same thing. They have different rigs. We've got some Class A's, we've got fifth wheels, we've got travel trailers. So don't forget to go and watch them and see what they're saying. That's about it, right?
Well, I think we can wrap it up.
Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the thanks button because Natalie loves it when you do that. Don't forget to hit the bell button next to the subscribe button and do all. And if you'd like to become a Braziere and support a couple of tits, Natalie and myself, you can hit the join button. Woo! Nailed it.
Nailed it.
All right, we'll see you on Sunday. If not, we'll see you next month for our next collaboration.